Hey guys, so today we're going to take a deeper dive into RPE, rating of perceived exertion. Rather than basing off, say, particular percentages and having to hit that no matter if you've had a bad night's sleep or if you've had a really stressful day at work, this kind of gives you a little room for flexibility and kind of gives you a target to aim for rather than being so fixated on having to hit a specific number. Now, where RPE kind of gets misunderstood is it means you have to start taking ownership of your own training. You have to start understanding about your body and how it feels, the speed of the weight moving, and just be a lot more aware during training. Now, I've listed out all the RPEs here, going from 1 to 10, the common scale that I use, and I thought I'd break it down, kind of give you an idea of what you'd kind of be looking for at each of those RPEs, and then help you maybe get a little bit more out of your RPE training and get a little bit of a better understanding of where you should be aiming for. So we're going to start out with RPEs 1 to 4. Don't tend to see me program these because this is really around your warm-up RPE. You want to be thinking nothing's challenging here, your body's feeling good, you're just greasing the groove, getting ready for your main lifts. Now, if you was to put that into a running equivalent, you'd probably be thinking about, like, say, an ultra marathon / marathon kind of pace. So that'd be slow and steady and just continuous. So you want to be thinking with RPE 1 to 4, you'll be able to pretty much do that just non-stop without any need to rest. Now we're moving on to RPE 5. Now, RPE 5, I don't program often, but you do see them come up. And that's mainly because I like to use them as an easy load / for your deload RPEs. So we might have built up to an RPE 10, and I like to pretty much half the weight completely and take you into an RPE 5, where we're going to now deload the body, focus a bit more on technique and skill, and just let the body kind of recover a little bit from this max effort set. At the start of most blocks, we start out with an RPE 6. This is light work with around 4 reps left in the tank. So RPE 6 is a really common RPE to be overshot a lot of time because it's the first week, you're kind of pumped to be training and you normally push a little bit too hard. And through a lot of my progressions, it's say RPE 6, 7, 8, 9. You don't want to shoot yourself in the foot early doors and then have to try and then build on that each week. So we want to try and be a little bit more conservative in RPE 6 week. Make sure you're feeling good with the movement, understanding how it feels, and then getting ready for the next week and looking at the RPE progression there. Now, if you were to put these two RPEs in a form of running, you want to now be probably thinking more like a 10K. You'd be able to, you would start to fail at some point because it's got a good pace to it, but you don't want to go all out early doors and then have to pay back later on. We now get into the fun ones. So we're starting to get 7, 8, 9, and 10. So RPE 7, quite simply put, around 3 reps left in the tank. So RPE 7 and RPE 8, so 3 reps left in the tank, RPE 8 being 2 reps left in the tank. This is the kind of RPE where it's strength training. We're going to really be honing in on technique, adding strength, adding size because it's great for bodybuilding, and this is a really good working RPE. When we start getting to these later ones, that's closer to testing strength rather than building strength. So when you see RPE 7s and 8, really take that in and harness your skill progression and the way you're really feeling the weight move. Now, when we're talking about running, like I've been doing for all of these, RPE 7 and 8 is going to be more like your 5K, so where you're starting to really have to push. So with a fast 5K, you're gonna know about it. It's going to really start to hurt the lungs, but you still, again, can't just go out early doors too fast because it's going to bite you in the ass later on. So that's very similar with that 7 and 8. If you're doing some bodybuilding or size-focused training, this is a really good RPE to utilize and get some good mind-muscle connections and still push yourself close to failure. We now have RPE 9, so this is your rough set. This will be where you're building up to pretty much 1 rep left in the tank. So this is going to be a very challenging set and going to be close to your max. Remember, RPE 9 isn't your max, so if you do see that, that means we want to be pushing to near enough your top set. I've put down some percentage equivalents over here for an RPE 9. If you're building to a 1 rep at an RPE 9, you're probably going to be looking at around 95% of your 1 rep max. If I'm asking you to say do 2 reps at an RPE 9, probably about 90 to 92%. 3 reps, you'd probably be about 87 to 89. I'm going to attach a PDF in the resource area where it has a bunch of percentages breaking down. So if you don't quite understand what an RPE feels like, or you want to have a rough guide of where to aim for, check out the PDF table, have a look at that, and kind of give yourself a ballpark figure to aim for in your sessions. Now, RPE 10, your absolute max. Now, this is you when we get to testing weeks. I don't often run testing weeks too often. It'll probably be at the end of every season, so that's a 12-week cycle. Being the end of that season means we've built up our strength, We've worked on skill, we've worked on technique, and we have earned the right to test ourselves at that top weight. So that's why it's your absolute max. You want to leave it all out there on the table. Still, you know, you don't necessarily want to hurt yourself doing it, but we want to make sure we've put everything out there and make sure we've taken the fruits from our harvest of training consistently for those 11 weeks prior to that test week. Now, if you were to put these RPE 9 and RPE 10 into a running equivalent like we've done for the others, you're looking at now a 100-meter pace. So you know it's short, sharp, fast, and hard. But you've earned the right to get to this all-out effort. Now, there is the caveats of the 0.5s. They kind of creep in around the 8.5s and the 9.5s. Now, I like to think of this as you've not got another rep, but you've probably got a little bit more weight. So sometimes you think, oh, I could have probably done an extra, say 2 kilos, maybe 2 to 5 kilos. And if you don't really want to make that jump, but you think I've probably got enough, you probably was then the 0.5 behind that. It's all part of our journey of learning our body and understanding what the rating of perceived exertion is all about when it comes to how we move a barbell through space and time. So I hope this cleared up some of your questions on RPE. Do let me know if you have any questions, drop them down below or drop me a message. If you've got any other questions, let me know and I'll be sure to get a video recorded for you guys to help with your training careers. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.